Halifax, there won't be shiny buttons or a T-shirt cannon, like the flashier events at this weekend's Federal Liberal Party convention in Halifax. But Julie Lalonde hopes politicians and party leaders show up to her workshop to learn about preventing sexual harassment when the cameras aren't rolling. Lalonde, an Ottawa public educator and women's rights advocate, is presenting her workshop Ensuring Safe Spaces and Ending Harassment twice at the convention, in French on Friday and in English on Saturday. She said it's the first time she's been invited to speak to the Liberals, having given similar education to the NDP in recent years. The convention comes just a couple months after representatives from several parties faced allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct, including former Halifax area NDP MP Peter Stopper, former Liberal cabinet minister Kent Herr, and former Nova Scotia PC leader Jamie Bailey. Lalonde said the latest wave of allegations and public outrage is not a new conversation. Similar reactions happened during the Jian Ghomeshi trial in 2016, sexual assaults on campus, and in 2015 when 2 Liberal MPs were removed from caucus after accusations from female NDP MPs. If we just stick to calling out a couple creepers, getting a couple people to tell their story, we're not moving people towards prevention. Lalonde said in an interview Wednesday. We are just reacting, and then we think, okay, we've eliminated the bad apples, we're good to go. Therefore, it's important advocates continue to talk about sexual harassment in a practical way, Lalonde said, because often citizens are so inundated with accounts of sexual misconduct from every element of society, Hollywood, the Canadian military, the RCMP, Parliament, that one can feel helpless. What we know to be true is that raising awareness does not create social change. People need tools, they need information, and that's where I think we need to go in this particular moment around. That's my goal for the weekend. Lalonde said. Those tools include knowing what sexual violence looks like, Lalonde said, since people can't intervene if they're unclear on what it entails. For example, she said people stop at inappropriate comments falling under the definition, but sexual violence is a crime of escalation, where people test the waters to see if they get called out, and if they don't, things may get worse. Lalonde said she'll also unpack the myths that stop people from intervening, like assuming the young, pretty person at the office who dresses well must want attention, or the old school guy is harmless, just roll your eyes and walk away from him. The presentation will also handle what it's like intervening in an office where there's seniority and power imbalances, Lalonde said, particularly in the political sphere where there is the assumption you have to keep it quiet for the sake of the party. A major point Lalonde said she tries to drive home is the idea of flipping the golden rule: don't treat people how you want to be treated, but instead treat them how they want to be treated. Even though one woman might not care about a comment, joke, or physical touch, Lalonde said the next might not feel the same way, and she's allowed to be offended, because she has different boundaries than you do. You are not the baseline for other people, she said. When asked whether she knows if Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will drop in for her workshop, Lalonde said she's unsure if he'll make an appearance, but there was some pretty good representation from party staff and MPs at the NDP convention, which she's hoping the Liberals will match. Lalonde said she'd love to see those in the upper echelons, like Trudeau's Chief of Staff Katie Telford, or Principal Advisor Gerald Butts, as well as politicians themselves, so it's not just up to staffers to take notes and report back. She said if people aren't part of these conversations, then they don't have a right to be outraged by what's going on. She added if someone's engaging with this is something that requires people getting their hands dirty and requires them rolling up their sleeves. Lalonde said, what are you doing when you don't get a cookie for it? Like, you've just got to show up. I won't have a T-shirt cannon at my presentation. It's just the right thing to do. Lalonde said the sessions themselves are closed to media. She thinks that's the best approach, so no one's there for performative purposes that might attempt to steal the spotlight and seem like they're the most woke person in the room. Haley Ryan is a Halifax-based reporter covering women's issues and advocacy. Follow her on Twitter, at Hungarian. 17 Canadian politicians accused of sexual misconduct in 2018. Jamie Bailey, Nova Scotia PC leader and MLA, resigned Jan. 24 following an internal investigation into allegations of inappropriate behavior involving sexual harassment in one individual. Also resigned his Cumberland South seat. Patrick Brown, Ontario PC leader, resigned as leader January 25, removed from caucus February 16 amid accusations of sexual misconduct. Still sits as independent MPP for Simcoe North. Kent Herr, Liberal cabinet minister, resigned January 25 pending an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment. still sits as Calgary Centre MP. Peter Stauffer, former NDP MP for Sackville Preston Chesapeake, NS, apologised Feb. 9 after allegations of inappropriate touching and kissing from women who worked with him in Parliament between 2006 and 2009.